So
I want 2.5% now of your 2.5%.
Yeah.
We're all getting percentage if you get this
I
stuff.
don't think he's going to get it.
He's going to get it. Welcome back, everyone, to Toronto's #1 real estate podcast. This is the Price to Sell podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Campoli. And today, I have another very special guest. A good friend of mine in the industry. His name is Demetres Giannitsos with EXP Realty.
Yes, sir.
Ranked #1 on social media in Toronto. I was on that list too, but number 12, which sucked. But he's the #1 guy, so he's the guy you want to talk to.
I don't know who picked that list.
Yeah, he's the
You're
guy.
number
though.
one. I'm number 2.
But welcome, man. This is our second time having a chat. First real estate focused chat, so I'm excited for this one.
Love it.
If you want to give the crowd a little bit of background on yourself, who you are, what areas you service.
I'll give you the short background.
Okay.
Demetres Giannitsos, sell real estate here in Toronto. I pretty much do downtown, and then I work my way east. I know
Nice.
we kind of work like opposite ends,
We do,
right?
which is good. Keep it that way.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Stay off my turf.
Yeah, for real.
But I pretty
I know
much
you
do downtown Toronto, and then like Scarborough, Pickering, Ajax, with a little bit of Whitby.
Beautiful. So areas I don't touch. Fantastic. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your experience in the business and kind of what you got you into the business.
Yeah,
Little history.
It's been a road to get here, and I know we've been on your other podcast, and I kind of give you a little bit there. But I mean, I started selling real estate in 2017 in Edmonton, Alberta, actually, and then moved to Toronto to be with my lovely girlfriend, Aika, and I've been selling here ever since. So it's been a wild ride. We met on a reality TV show.
Yep.
Which is how I ended up in Toronto now. And yeah, I didn't think that, 5 years ago I would be selling real estate in Toronto when I was, knee deep in the mud in the Alberta oil field, but here we are.
Yeah, it's crazy, those life twists. So just to dig into the reality show, a well-known show, Big Brother Canada. So he was third runner-up?
Yeah, I was third.
So he placed third, had a little bit of a showmance, what they call it, with his current girlfriend. And how did that, so coming off a TV show, obviously you get a ton of exposure.
Yeah.
You're going to have, I don't know how many people watch Big Brother. I want to say in the millions.
Yeah, I think
millions.
they average like about a million viewers per week or per episode. I don't remember the stat on
Which is insane. Were you in real estate prior?
So how I kind of got into it was like I was working in the oil field.
Yeah.
My father, he's a real estate investor, and he kind of got me into it while all my friends were, kind of out buying trucks and sleds.
Sure. Yep.
I got the old immigrant Greek dad saying, invest your money, go buy some rental properties. So I was accumulating my rental portfolio. And then when I got on the show, becoming a real estate agent was kind of like that far-fetched dream, like, oh, in another life, I'd be this like real estate agent slinging condos and houses in a suit. And then I got off the show and I'm just like, okay, I've got my rental properties. I've got some cash in the bank. If there's ever a time to take a run at it, now's the time. And then on top of that, I had met, the love of my life on the show who lived in Toronto. And I'm like, okay, at the time I was working in the oil field. Well, I can't work in the oil field in Toronto because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't. I tried looking for it once.
It's like what can I do in Toronto that makes sense? Well, real estate became it. So I actually got my license in Edmonton, sold for a year in Edmonton. I like to think of it as like my time in the minors.
Yeah.
No hate on people in Edmonton because Edmonton's awesome, but I mean, it's a different beast out here.
For sure.
Right? Like it's so fast paced. And then, I came to Toronto and just been slinging as many as I can.
Amazing, man. I think that worked in divine timing because as a realtor, having a big presence, social media, YouTube, wherever it is, really helps your growth.
Big
and
time.
You have a 300K subscription account with Leica, which everyone loves. Everyone knows you guys. It's fantastic. Kudos to you guys. Now you have your own little real estate YouTube channel, which is blowing up. Plus your massive presence on Instagram, again, ranked #1 on social media in Toronto. So that's obviously given for a reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So question I want to ask all my guests, and a lot of realtors ask us out there, is like, how do you get your lead gen? Like, what's your main source of clients? Because some people struggle, you know what I mean? And they want to find different methods and ways to get it. So what's your main source of lead gen?
For sure. I mean, right now, I'm getting a lot more referrals, having been in the industry for, you know, a long enough time where now these clients are recommending their friends, their family, or their repeat clients. But at the beginning, like I moved to Toronto, didn't know anyone, and all that business came from Instagram. And I'm forever thankful for the exposure that, you know, the show did bring me. But I will say that, you know, having that following or having that exposure doesn't immediately bring you business. When I moved here, my first 6 months in Toronto, I did 0 deals.
Yeah.
I figured, you know, okay, I'm going to come over. There's some people on my Instagram that are from Toronto. They'll buy and sell with me. No, they won't.
Yeah.
You have to give them a reason to. And it wasn't until I started showing value
for sure
and posting regularly on my channels and just giving them tips, helping out, value. And even then it was another 6 months before they started to roll in.
Yeah.
But if you just have it, you know, it's just a number by your name, and that is literally it. It's a matter of like giving people something, building trust, and then actually converting, you know, them into clients. And the best part I'll say about like social media, building your brand, is that I'm not chasing these people down. You know, I'm not door knocking, bothering them. They're all reaching out to me. Listing appointments, I very rarely compete on them. People call me and they're just like, we've already made up our mind.
It's powerful. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just being able to work your existing sphere, and you don't need a big following to do it. Like it could be, you know, the 3,000 people that you know, like a following that big, just cultivating, staying in front of them every single day, providing value, and then being that top of mind person when they're ready to go.
Exactly. Just watering them and all whatever's existing, and you just gotta trust the process.
Yes, you do.
I agree with that fully. So recently you made a shift from what was your previous brokerage?
So I was at Sage Real Estate before.
Okay, cool.
Which is like a boutique brokerage.
Yeah. I've heard it's has that like that vibe, kind of like a chestnut or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And you recently made the switch to EXP.
Yep.
So I definitely want to dig into EXP because it's definitely been a hot topic, especially in our industry, and it is a newer real estate brokerage, cloud-based.
Yep.
I've dug into it. Clearly, I need to dig into it more based on our previous conversation before this, but it's an interesting concept, and it's the first. It is a. They are the pioneers with this concept. So if you could just kind of elaborate on like what EXP is and why, what kind of helped you make the decision to join them.
Yeah, I mean, the whole EXP conversation is like literally an hour, 2 hour conversation to go over everything.
We're gonna give people the spark notes.
Yeah, we'll give you the long short. I mean, the biggest thing for me is that it's the only brokerage that offered multiple streams of income. Traditionally, you know, we're out here slinging deals. The second we stop,
no money,
we stop getting paid.
Agreed.
And like, we know how valuable our time has become. It becomes a real big fucking problem, like really quickly, right? And it's like, okay, how long can I do this for? I love selling real estate. I love doing it, but it's like, I would also love to spend some time with my family and create passive income. And this gives you the opportunity to do that through its models. You get to earn equity ownership into a $4 billion company by selling houses and doing everything that you would do at any other brokerage. You just get compensated more for it. So, you know, on top of that, the cloud-based brokerage, you know, obviously you save time from having to go into the actual office, and then like the support that they give you is more instant, I would say. And like they give you tools like KV Core, you know, a bunch of resources to actually build your business. But at the end of the day, it was just like, okay, I can build towards a future where I could potentially, you know, step away from the business.
The physical part of it.
You know, the physical part of it at least one day. And if it doesn't happen, let's say it doesn't work out, I'm in the exact same spot that I would be at any other brokerage.
That's good. That's a very good point.
That was the aha moment for me. I'm like, okay, well, what do I have to lose?
It's very true. And especially, so in our business, like, you know, however many years you're in it, if you're not scaling properly, you're always just going to be on everyone else's time and working your ass off, you know, and it becomes, you reach a point where you need to start like multiplying yourself in order to do more, right? And if you don't, then you're always going to be kind of stuck at one point. But it is very tiring, man, just being out there all the time and physically out there. Like, it's long ass hours, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's, you know, great reward in the business for sure, but a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes and what we're actually, the output we're putting into it.
For sure.
And what I do like, what's cool about EXP is because if you want to scale as a realtor and build a team, that would be the way to do it. So you would have to build or kind of structure maybe an admin staff, an assistant, and then around that, start hiring some showing agents and then buying agents and then listing agents, and you grow exponentially from there. But it's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. That's a whole job on its own.
It is a whole job on its own. So what's cool about EXP is it kind of helps you do it
scalable.
It's very scalable.
It's very scalable.
Talk about like the team building aspect of it.
Yeah. So basically just for introducing people to the company, and this is modeled exactly off of Keller Williams too. Mm-hmm. Like EXP is just Keller Williams on steroids, if you will. Just like their profit share, we have the revenue share. And by introducing the company to other agents, you get compensated through the brokerage. And like what we're doing a little bit differently, like, some people just send like blanket videos like, hey, check out EXP, you can retire a gajillionaire in like 5 years and like, let me know when you want to join. We're actually building out systems and processes for our agents to provide even more value on top of what EXP is already offering. So that way, when they come, they're getting the tools to do more deals, and they can also offer those tools to other agents, which give them a reason to join our organization versus some other random EXP agent who's just like, hey, check out this video. Let me know when you want to sign up and I'll never talk to you again.
Yeah, well, that kind of goes hand in hand with just any brokerage you're with, or if you're like, hey, come work with me, and then they show up and you're not training them, not doing anything, like that's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
So it really speaks to you as a person ultimately. And if you're kind of sorry, I burped, I don't know if you heard that. if you're modeled or you have that mindset already to be that person, that leader, EXP is cool because it helps you kind of do it in easier fashion.
It's the new way of doing it.
It is. It's interesting.
And it's funny because like we always talk as real estate agents about being entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But like, let's look at it from a traditional brokerage standpoint. We just have very demanding jobs.
We do.
Like, and that's it. And the entrepreneur aspect, like, get the fuck out of here with that. Yeah. Like, you're not an entrepreneur. You're working a commission job. I'm just gonna take
that out of my bio after this.
Yeah,
I should remove that from my bio. So
we're very amateur entrepreneurs, where I think that this is kind of leading more towards the entrepreneur side of things. You have so many different ways you can play this. You could be a commission agent where you're out here slinging as many deals and you have all the tools to do it with an aggressive commission split. Great. You could be solely building a team. We have a couple agents who, they have their license, they do their personal deals, but they are team building. They're out here providing value for their agents and they're growing a rev share. Or you could be like most of us who do a little bit of both. We're out here doing our deals. When you do something well, people naturally ask, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And right now it's a hot topic. You give them the information. If it's something that they gravitate towards, then great. If not, you just go about your way, and eventually it can become something that you can walk away from.
1,000%. And then you are what I like to call an attraction agent. And I think those are the agents that do the best in the business, because you're not out there busting chops.
Yeah.
And desperate for the business. You're really not at all. And you have that opposite effect where people are just coming to you. And I think that with this model, it's just natural that you're going to get people who want to work with you.
Yeah.
And it's easy because you could just say, okay, here's all the value we add. And this is it. If you want to follow, you follow, but this is how I do what I do.
And I know you have the same business too. Like, most of your business reaches out to you. They want to work with Matt. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing. Like, there are some agents who are going out there spamming people on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
People reach out to me. I'm just like, and at that point, I just give you the information. If it works, great, go for it. If not, whatever.
Exactly.
But I'll say this too, like, and this was another aha moment for me when I joined, looking at, how much I had to do to get, say, $5,000 worth of residual income. I'm like, okay, I can do that
per month.
Okay. Yeah. $5,000 per month. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, okay, I can achieve that in a year, maybe a little bit less. Okay. I worked in the Alberta oil field for 6 years in the freaking -30 and the mud and the snow to buy 3 rental properties that bring me in $4,000 of residual income per month.
Amazing.
6 years. Mm-hmm. The return on investment for passive income is just like insane. Yeah. And I'm not saying don't buy rental properties, it's a real estate podcast. Buy them all. But, and that's what I plan on doing with my, residual income. I'm going to turn it into more, but anyways, like when I weighed the pros and cons of that, I'm just like, this is insane. I can't not take a stab at this and see where it goes. And it's such a new company that it's like getting in early it's like buying Apple stock before Apple became Apple. It's like, you know, getting into cryptocurrency before, you know, it blows up and becomes whatever. This is just something that I had to explore, and it's like where it goes, we'll see. But so far it's looking pretty good.
It seems like that. And are you always curious about this? Because, you know, now we are moving away from this kind of mindset where the office you work at or the brokerage you work at really makes a difference. It's not really the case anymore because, you know, you are you, like you're Demetres, I'm Matt, right? But have you had people or any setbacks using or letting people know I'm with EXP? Have you had people? Because interesting, because I know a lot of people who aren't in the business don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Just an outside like consumer.
Let me tell you a story on this one.
I love stories.
Okay. You like the stories. I had a client. She was a real estate agent from Vancouver moving to Toronto. Okay. We had gone on 25 showings. She ended up buying a really nice hard loft in the toy factory. After it was closing day or just before, we're out for coffee, kind of walking around, talking. She's getting ready to move. We're on the topic of brokerages. And she asked me what brokerage I worked for. And this is after I sold her a condo. Yeah. and she's a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And she doesn't give a shit about what brokerage I worked for, to the point where she didn't even know. She signed the agreement that has the brokerage that I work for. So it's like, if she doesn't care, I know the average consumer doesn't. And it really comes down to how you build your business. Mm-hmm. If you build your business and you're just like, oh, well, my brokerage is this, my brokerage is that, my brokerage is that. And if that works for you, that's great. You should probably make sure that you work at a brokerage that has a lot of stuff, I guess, you could offer. They're all, you know, for intensive purposes, going to offer whatever the agent offers. So if you're leveraging that, then, you know, whatever. But I mean, I know me. My business comes to me for me personally, and these people don't even know.
Yeah, that's fair. I experienced that a lot too, so I can really resonate with that for sure.
And I mean, EXP, I'm going to tell you right now, like, they're in the States, they're massive. Canada, they're blowing up. They're in like, frick, man, I could go over like Mexico, Brazil. They just went into India, Portugal, France. Like, they're blowing up to the point where it's like within 3-4 years, like, this is going to be that reputable brand that's worldwide.
It's a movement for sure.
Yeah.
It's and you see more and more, and you hear more and more people joining. It's really interesting, especially for an agent like myself, being in the business 5 years. Like, it's just a very interesting concept. So speaking of the concept, do you see these cloud-based brokerages? Well, there's only one main one now, but do you see these cloud-based brokerages being the brokerage of the future?
100%. Okay. I mean, I think that there's always going to be, you know, those brokerages that have the office, but it's like, as an agent, the amount of times I've stepped foot in a real estate office is crazy low, let alone for the consumer who's going to step foot in a real estate brokerage maybe once in their life. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
Sellers, I'm meeting you at your house.
Yeah.
Like, we got to look at the house in order to sell it. Buyers, I'm doing Zoom calls, buyer consultations. It's unbelievable. I can pump out like 4 of them in, you know, an afternoon, rather than driving all over the city, wasting an entire day. I can just go bang, 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 bang. And people are open to that. They like it. They're in the comfort of their own home. They don't got to drive down to some awkward office where they never met. And like, you know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
And, or you're meeting them at the first property they want to see. It's just like, what do you need it for?
It's true. And I'm an office guy. Like, I've had an office since I started, but mainly for the purpose of me just having my own space. Yeah. And now I have that at where I'm living. So I find myself not really going to the office as much. So especially with COVID too. I mean, like, it's I don't think the office thing is a massive deal. Like, it's good to have the culture. Sure. It's great to be around people, but I'll say this too, like, because I was an office guy. Mm-hmm. I went to Sage's office. Like, shout out to Sage. You guys have the sickest office ever. I actually really liked it. I was the guy who was there every day. There's never anyone else there to even like talk to or work with. If there was somebody else there to talk to and work with, we're wasting time. Yeah. You know, that's true, man. I had one buyer consultation there in like 2 years. Like, I barely used it. And I actually, like, with the way it's set up with like what we offer our agents for support and our weekly calls, I have more friends at EXP than I did at any other brokerage. And it's like messed up to say that. And some of them, you know, a lot of them are in Toronto, but some of them aren't. Some of them are in Edmonton. Some of them are in California. So you're making friends?
Making friends?
I have no friends. Maybe I should do it. I need friends.
Trust me, you'll fit in real well.
All right, so I always like to talk about the Toronto real estate market just briefly because I'd like to get different opinions.
Yep.
It is a hot topic right now. What the hell is going on? We have seen a surge since end of 2020 to now.
Yeah.
Do you believe we're in a bubble?
Bro, these people have been talking about bubbles like I remember seeing an article 2012.
Yeah, are we in a bubble?
Will the Toronto bubble burst? 2013. Will the Toronto bubble burst? 2014. Are we in a bubble? I honestly don't think so. When you compare Toronto to other similar cities, New York,
I agree. I always do
San
this.
Fran, all those cities, they're declining in population. We're still like growing very quickly, and we're in a massive home shortage.
Yes,
I don't see how prices could go down. If interest rates come up, that's the only thing that I could possibly think of. But I mean, based on supply and demand, like
it's very true.
Buckle up, because it's going to get real expensive here.
I agree very much with that. And what is your take on? We're in May right now, beginning of May, June 1st. We have the new stress test being implemented. Your take on that? Do you think that's going to affect affordability? Do you think that's going to? Do you think more of like a media push that might affect a little bit, like a scare from the media, or do you think it's actually going to affect buyers?
It's going to be a blip in the radar.
Okay.
2017, we saw the foreign buyer tax come in, and everybody freaked out, and it affected the market for like.
I think that was more media driven though, because only 8% of buyers were foreign.
Yep.
So I think that was very media driven.
100%.
Yeah.
And as soon as the scare went away, like what did we see?
Boom.
COVID was the same thing. Like everyone freaked out for the month of March and April, and then May, and then it's like ever since it's just been like insane. They've even done stress tests like this before. It'll slow it down for a millisecond, and then it's just going to take off again.
Well, I'm seeing a natural cool down right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are too.
Depends where you're looking.
Yeah, it's very true. Every pocket is different.
Yeah.
But I am definitely seeing in certain areas. Certain areas, lower price point.
Yeah.
Are crazy still.
It's crazy.
But
what you like lower price point is like what? like 800,000?
Under 800K.
Yeah.
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 Those are definitely flying off the shelves. So what would be some future predictions, let's say end of 2021?
End of the rest
of the year.
I think the condo market is going to have a really strong summer. Like I think if there was ever a time to buy a condo, just get in, because this could be one of the moments where you look back and you're like, that lull that we saw in October, November was the bottom.
Yeah.
That was it. And from here, we're at about 1,000 a square foot, let's say downtown on average. It's not going to be unheard of to see 1,500 per foot be the average, with like the nicer condos hitting 19 and, less desirables hitting 1250. I think that's totally reasonable for our city and where it's headed. So
and you see these pre-con developments, 1,200, 1,300 plus a square foot selling out.
That's right? And that's like the lower end pre-cons too.
Yeah,
like it's insane. So if you want to get into the market, man, and it sucks, it's not easy, but you just have to find a way.
Yeah, I agree with the condos fully. If you guys are out there looking for condos, now would be a very good time, because I think the run is already started. Multiples are back in terms of multiple offers, but definitely you have a bit of a window to take advantage of.
When they open those immigration borders, we're done.
Yeah.
400,000 immigrants coming next year. Half of them going to land in the GTA. 400,000 coming the next year, and the year after that. Like, it's going to get wild.
Oh, yeah. Buckle up. So, as we near the end here, this is the Price to Sell podcast, all about selling. So, I like to put my guys on the spot for a bit.
Oh, boy.
You have 1 minute, okay? 1 minute to sell yourself. Why use Demetres for real estate? What do you offer?
You know what? And every agent has to sit inside themselves and be like, what is their value proposition? And, I feel like I have a lot to offer on the social media side of things.
Agreed.
But I will say, for the consumer, the most important thing is to go with someone that you trust, above all else. I don't want to hear about marketing. I don't want to hear about this and that and the other thing. If you have a shady agent, or you have an agent who's just looking to cash a check, that's the difference between 20,000. That's the difference between 30,000. I would say my value proposition is I actually care. Unfortunately, it's a fault of mine. I lose sleep over this shit.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way.
Right? And
Trust
it's
me.
like, you know, somebody gets a bad deal or doesn't get the offer that we should get. Like, I lose sleep over that. And I'm going to make sure we get it. So I would say that's the biggest thing for me. But yeah, just go with someone.
You're one of those true gems, man. I love working with guys in the industry like you. I'm the exact same way. I think you probably just gained like 3.4 clients there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.4. There's a fourth of you out there. There's a 0.4 person out there.
Cut you right in half.
Yeah, right in half. So that's pretty much it, man. So we definitely want to touch on, like, as we end, like a little bit about what's next for you. You know, any big plans with the business? Or
we got big plans, but I can't even announce them yet. You know, it's kind of like
give a little hint.
Little hint.
A little exclusive here.
I think, you know, for me, still priority number one is out here slinging as, you know, many houses as possible, helping as many people as possible. But the whole EXP and the team stuff, you know, I think the goal here is to really be that source for people, especially in Toronto. We're building out some really exciting stuff to help agents that I don't think anybody can compete with. So I think, you know, for people who are looking to get info on the brokerage, we're going to be the ones to reach out to.
Amazing. You're already creating waves. Let's let everybody know where they could find you on your socials.
Yeah. Best way to find me is Instagram, Demetres_GIA. And yeah, shoot me a DM. I get back to everybody.
Amazing. YouTube?
So me and Ika, my girlfriend, we have a YouTube channel called Dem and Ika.
It's fantastic.
Go subscribe. We have a lot of fun. Yeah, we got a lot of fun on there. I've got a real estate YouTube channel. Got to find time for it. There's a couple of videos on there, but I would say, you know, the best outlet is definitely Instagram.
Fantastic, man. So thank you so much for coming on. It's always been a pleasure. We'll look forward to many more with you. Again, guys, this is the #1 real estate podcast in Toronto. Price to sell. Like, subscribe. Show your friends, show your mothers, show your grandmothers and grandparents as well. Show them all. We'll see you very soon.
Love it.
Cheers.